Words of encouragement are being left by college students mourning a tragedy at Northern Arizona University. Tonight, 3 young men, including a San Diegan, are recovering from their injuries. A 4th was killed.
Here is the latest. The shooter has been identified as Stephen Jones, who was apparently trying to join the fraternity Sigma Chi. The men who were injured are members of a rival fraternity. We have team coverage for you tonight on this developing story. We begin with 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina. Steve?
Nick Prato lived on this street in Rancho Penasquitos before he moved over to Flagstaff to attend Northern Arizona University. Now, both his parents flew out there today to be with him. We spoke with his mom by phone late this afternoon. Nick Prato was one of 4 NAU students shot in that fight in a parking lot outside the Delta Chi fraternity. He's hospitalized and able to talk now after surgery. His mother, Kimberly Prato, is very emotional, still scared but grateful.
My son is alive, and he is doing well, considering he had a gunshot wound to his neck that went right through it. It was a 9mm, we believe. It's a big hole, and we're happy that he's alive.
Kimberly is grief-stricken over the shooting and the death of one of her son's friends.
There are still 2 of his best friends in the hospital. One of them died.
Nick grew up in Torrey Highlands and graduated from Westview High School 2 years ago. A former classmate remembers.
He's a great kid, always had a smile on his face. He'd always be there joking around, always be there to make me laugh, cheer everyone up.
He said Nick was a 3-sport athlete: wrestling, football, and soccer.
Very athletic, very competitive, as I said, and just he had his head on his shoulders.
And the university said all of the victims were frat brothers, but the shooter was not. Live in Rancho Penasquitos, Steve Fiorina, 10 News.
All right, Steve, thank you. We're learning more about the student who died, and 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco continues our team coverage from the Live Center. Rachel?
Ariel, his name is Colin Brew, and his LinkedIn page says that he was studying marketing and advertising. If you go on Twitter, you'll see all kinds of messages of condolences that his fellow classmates are now sending to his family.
Multiple people possibly shot. We have 4 victims.
A late-night fight that turned fatal on the campus of Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff.
We do have at least 3 people down.
And a 4th shot to death. Colin Brew was killed. He was a freshman from Colorado and a member of the Delta Chi fraternity. He was shot in the chest and shoulder. His 3 frat brothers suffered multiple gunshots, but survived.
Nobody could have guessed this would have happened.
Police say it happened when 2 groups of students got into a fight in a parking lot near a dorm. Investigators say Stephen Jones, seen here, ran to his car and got a gun. Students could be seen hugging and crying on campus. A vigil will be held Friday evening for the freshman who died. And students will gather on campus for that vigil at 7 o'clock. In the Live Center, Rachel Bianco, 10 News.
We continue our coverage of the school shooting with Team 10 investigator Alison Ash. She's been looking into the background of the shooter. Alison.
Yeah, and if you take a look here, this is a picture, an actual mugshot of 18-year-old Stephen Jones. It was taken today. You can see what appears to be a cut here on his head, on his lip, down on his chin a little bit. Also right here, it appears that he is wearing a bulletproof vest. Now, most of the pictures he posted on social media seem pretty normal, but his Instagram account has several images of him with guns. Some of them, we are told, have serious firepower. Now, the judge wouldn't allow cameras in the courtroom today for Jones' arraignment, but reporters who were inside tweeted that he cried as the judge read the charges: 1 count of murder, 3 of aggravated assault. Jones telling the judge he was chased during a fight and that he warned the victims he had a handgun. He ran to his car to get it and then fired. Now, his attorney argued that Jones has no criminal history except for a few traffic tickets, that he's a lifelong Arizona resident, not a flight risk, but the judge set bail at $2 million cash. That's what his parents will have to come up with to get him out of jail.
Yeah, clearly an affinity to guns. Thank you, Allison. Stay with 10 News for continuing coverage of this still developing story. Coming up new at 6 o'clock, what we have just learned about the San Diego victims' involvement in the military.